The Israelite Kingdom. The Israelites were ruled by several important kings. After this time, they were divided into two kingdoms and faced threats from neighboring empires. Early kings. What was the role of kings in Israelite history? By 1100 BC, the Israelites had settled much of the land of Canaan. They developed a prosperous culture, creating an alphabet and a calendar based on Canaanite ideas. Yet one powerful enemy, the Philistines, remained. When the Philistines moved inland from the Mediterranean Sea, they came into conflict with the Israelites. Many Israelites called for a king to unite the 12 tribes and lead them in battle against the Philistines. Saul, the first king. According to the Hebrew Bible, the Israelites asked the judge Samuel to choose a king. Samuel, though, warned that a king would tax them and enslave them. The Israelites, however, still demanded a king, so Samuel chose a young man named Saul. Samuel anointed Saul as king, pouring holy oil on him to show that God had blessed him. Under Saul's leadership, the Israelites won many battles against the Philistines. With each victory, Saul gained greater fame. Later, however, Saul lost the support of his people. According to the Hebrew Bible, Saul disobeyed some of God's commands. God then instructed Samuel to choose and anoint another king. Samuel chose a young shepherd named David. Even before he became Israel's king, David had won praise for his bravery. The Hebrew Bible provides an account of David and his victory over Goliath, a giant Philistine warrior. In a bragging fashion, Goliath dared any Israelite to fight him one on one. Young David stepped forward with his shepherd's staff, a slingshot, and 5 smooth stones. With a heavy spear in hand, Goliath rushed forward. David hurled one stone straight at the giant's forehead. Goliath dropped dead. Impressed by David's skill, King Saul placed his army under David's command. As David won more and more victories, the women of Israel sang his praises. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Then, seized by jealousy, Saul tried to kill David, but David escaped. When Saul died in battle against the Philistines, David returned and became king. According to the Hebrew Bible, once David was in power, he united the Israelite tribes. David and his army defeated the Philistines. He then established a capital city for Israel at Jerusalem. The Israelites built their capital in the hill country away from the coast. A fine musician and poet, David is believed to have written many of the sacred songs found in the Hebrew Bible's Book of Psalms, also found in the Christian Bible. One of the most famous is Psalm 23, which begins, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake." Psalm 23, 1-3. Under David's rule, the Israelites enjoyed prosperous times. Farmers cultivated the tough, dry land by building terraces on steep hillsides. Terraced fields are strips of land cut out of a hillside like stair steps. Terraces prevented soil from washing down the hillsides when it rained. After David's death, the Israelites honored him as their greatest king, as do Jews today. King David's son Solomon became the next Israelite king around 970 BC. Through trade and treaties with other peoples, Solomon brought a long period of peace to the region. He constructed many cities and, according to the Hebrew Bible, built the first temple in Jerusalem. Built of fragrant cedar wood and costly stone, Solomon's temple, also called the First Temple, held the Ark of the Covenant and other sacred objects. King Solomon was also known for his wisdom. He is believed to be the author of Proverbs, or wise sayings that are recorded in the Hebrew Bible. Solomon shared his proverbs in hopes of helping his people. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Proverbs 10:9. Despite Solomon's accomplishments, many Israelites turned against him. They did not like working on his building projects or paying the high taxes he demanded. After Solomon's death around 922 BC, the Israelites entered a troubled period in their history. Deep disagreements split their kingdom. In addition, powerful neighbors, threatened their survival. Two kingdoms. How did neighboring empires respond to the Israelites? After Solomon's death, the 10 northern tribes rebelled against the government in Jerusalem. These tribes founded a separate kingdom, Israel. Its capital was Samaria. The two tribes in the south founded the smaller kingdom of Judah. Judah's capital was Jerusalem. Although split politically, the people of Israel and Judah preserved the Israelite religion. During this time, large empires formed around Israel and Judah. As you read previously, the Assyrians and the Chaldeans built powerful empires. Their rulers wanted to control the trade routes that ran through Israel's kingdoms. Small and weak, the kingdoms of Israel and Judah felt threatened by their powerful neighbors. The fall of Israel. The Assyrians spread fear throughout the region. They forced conquered people to pay tribute. If they did not receive tribute, the Assyrians destroyed towns, burned estates, and carried away all valuable goods. Then they forced the conquered people to move to different areas to start new settlements. When the kingdom of Israel refused to pay tribute, the Assyrians invaded Israel in 722 BC. The Assyrians captured major cities, including the capital at Samaria. They wanted absolute control. So they forced some of the Israelites to resettle in the Assyrian Empire. Assyrians then brought in people from other parts of the empire to live in Israel. These settlers mixed with Israelites still living there. A new mingled culture developed. These people became known as Samaritans. The Samaritans adopted many of the Israelites' religious beliefs. They worshiped the God of Israel, read the Torah, and followed the Israelites' religious laws. The Samaritans, however, adopted religious practices that the Israelites did not accept. In time, the Samaritans and the people of Israel had little in common. Today's Judaism developed from the religious practices preserved mainly in the kingdom of Judah. The fall of Judah. The people of Judah survived the Assyrian conquests, but their freedom did not last. In 597 BC, the Chaldeans, under King Nebuchadnezzar, forced thousands of people to leave Jerusalem and live in Babylon, the Chaldean capital. Nebuchadnezzar chose a new king, a Judean, to rule Judah. At first, Judah's king did as he was told. Soon, however, he plotted to set Judah free. A prophet named Jeremiah warned that God did not want Judah to rebel, but the king refused to listen. The king led the people of Judah to revolt. The Chaldeans retook Jerusalem in 586 BC. Nebuchadnezzar then leveled Jerusalem to the ground. He destroyed the temple, captured the king, and took him and thousands of Judah's people to Babylon. In Jewish history, this time became known as the Babylonian exile. When people are exiled, they are forced to leave their home or country. Psalm 137 in the Hebrew Bible describes the sadness many of Judah's people felt in living far away from their homeland. By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept. How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. May my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth if I do not remember you, if I do not consider Jerusalem my highest joy. Psalm 137, 1-6. What was the prophet's message? The prophets had an important role in Judean life. They offered words of hope in times of despair. At other times, the prophets explained that the people were not obeying God. They urged the people to change their ways and to make the world a better place. The prophet Amos said, "But let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream." This means that all people should work for a just society in which everyone is treated fairly. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quoted the prophet's words in the 20th century in his I Have a Dream speech. The goal of a just society later became a primary part of the teachings of Christianity and Islam. Jewish prophets also stressed the importance of leading a moral life and helping others in order to connect with God.